Further to the energy efficiency or fenestration calculations in Caddie 19, you also have the ability to calculate and schedule your lighting demand as well as lighting energy consumptions. So I'm going to first of all use this drawing to explain to you exactly how it works. The first option is SANS lighting setup. The setup is basically where you choose your class of occupancy or occupancy of the building that you are busy with. There's a listing there. If I go to H4, which is a dwelling for houses, 4 people per house, and it gives you the energy demand, wattage per square meter, as well as the consumption allowed. If you have to modify any of those values, you can choose at the bottom user defined. So I can, for instance, at the bottom change this to 6 people. The energy demand will be pro rata 7.5 and consumption as well 7.5. So all of this can be manipulated and edited according to your design. Once you say OK to that's the occupancy class that Caddie will use for the calculations. To insert the lights itself is basically by using the command SANS water and lighting is combined into a dialog box, which I'm going to dock on the right hand side. As you can see, your water and lighting tabs at the top. The lighting, for instance, will give you flat lights, fluorescent lights, footlights, etc. So it gives you all the light types that's available. So for instance, if you want to put in a flat light or a fluorescent light, you can now choose that light. It will give you a symbol of how that specific light looks. It asks you for the power in wattage of that specific light, the room. So let's say if we go down to kitchen, the on time per day. So I can say that light is on, let's say 3.5 hours per day. The scale is just the size of the symbol, and the angle is the rotation according to that. When I click on the symbol itself, I can now go to my model and position that symbol wherever it should be within my drawing. You will see if I zoom in on that symbol is a light symbol itself with a tag attached to that. That tag can also be moved relative to the symbol itself. However, if I move the symbol itself, the tag will automatically move along. So that mark number will be used in the scheduling as well that I'm going to show you shortly. So you basically just choose the type of light that you want to insert, the wattage, room, how many hours, etc., and place the light in the model. That can be done in layers. For instance, for your ground floor and first floor, you can do individually and so on. So once I close that and I go into my lighting schedule, the lighting schedule will then ask you to indicate the objects to schedule. In this case, I'm just going to drag a rectangle across the drawing itself like this. Then I'm going to indicate the position for the table, which will be down here, and you can drag the size that you want the table to be. And as you can see from this table, it gives you the reference, in other words the mark number of each and every light, the type of light, the room that it is positioned or placed within, the wattage of each and every one, how many hours per day it will be on, day used. The day used will be default 365 days. So if I should go to any of these lights, and you would go to, let's say, object properties, you will see object properties gives you the extended data on certain objects. Now in extended data you can change the wattage, the mark number, the room, the on time, and the days per year. So let's say in this case, as an example, I'm just going to put it 50 days per year. That information will now update in the table. It will drag a line diagonally across the table to show you that that table has changed. So once again, once you select the table, I can just go to schedule table and update the schedule, and the table, as you can see at the bottom, the surface mounted fluorescent light is now changed to 50 days per year that it is used. So it basically gives you a schedule of all your lighting, and on top of that, if you want to now do the calculations, you can go and do the SANS lighting calculations. In this case, all visible objects, and it asks you where you want the text to be placed. So I'm going to place the text over there. My text is set up quite small, but as soon as you zoom in here, you will see it gives you the energy demand for the lighting, the class, the modified 6 people per house as I've set up initially. So it does all the calculations, adds them together, and it says gives you the total. So it works out the allowed, how much is allowed per dwelling and how much is used. That's in the demand. And then below that it will give you the consumption itself. So once again it goes through all the calculations, works it out, and at the bottom it will say allowed so many kilowatt hours per annum and used so many kilowatt hours per annum. And it will ask or tell you in the text itself whether that lighting on that building has passed or failed.